Time is gone 8:28 a.m. as we continue with the broadcast this morning now on Monday, the 5th of December at 2 p.m. South African time. There is going to be an event that is taking place, and this is at the Bertha House, Mowbray, in Cape Town, and the organization, and I'm hoping I pronounce it correctly, Rahasia Mafiusa NPO, and the event is called From Darkness to Light, celebrating global warriors, reinventing the past on Mandela's memorial. And we are joined on the line by the chairperson of the organization, Nusaiba Brazo. Nusaiba, assalamu alaikum and welcome to the show.
Walaikum salam. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, I'm hoping I said, in fact, I pronounced the organization correctly. But what is important is the title, From Darkness to Light, and also just looking at the poster saying, stand up, wise up, speak up. And these are powerful words. And just looking at the organization and what you actually hoping to achieve, or some sort of a background to the event that is going to be taking place on Monday.
Sure. So 2019, I launched this annual event, and it's actually marking the day not only that Nelson Mandela passed away, which was the 5th of December 2013, but it was the day that I left my abusive ex-husband. And I'm using it for positivity, that no matter our backgrounds, we can transform, we can make our lives better, we can grow, and whatever trials we have can be a form of self-development for ourselves. And so I'm actually using this annual event as a way to educate about the different forms of domestic abuse, and then create a platform for self-expression. So every year we have a variety of different artists, and this time we've got a really awesome lineup from Indonesia, South Africa, and Zambia. And it's incorporating how can we actually reinvent the past and seeing ourselves as not victims, not survivors only. Last year it was conquerors, and this year actually identifying with life can be tough. We have many challenges. We keep fighting, we are actually going darkness to light. And so I've added the global because it's quite an international lineup of different perspectives, and people can join online and in person in Cape Town.
Yes. Now, looking at bringing this event, and obviously looking at this event in to South Africa, and you've spoken about people from Indonesia, from Zambia, you yourself from the United Kingdom, and looking at South Africa, and for a very, very long time, we have been focusing on the 16 days of activism, looking at domestic abuse, which is a major issue. It's a major problem at this point in time, and there does appear that to be no end in sight, because when one looks at the statistics, not only in South Africa but right across the world, it's actually horrifying. It's horrific, Nina.
Yeah, and really realized that I needed to do this event, and how people have said to keep doing it, and it's really powerful, and it's exactly what people need here. So the difference is that often at other types of events or these causes, it can be focused around blaming, complaining. It can be quite negative and heavy, and angry, rightfully so. It's very difficult when we've been through abuse. And also, men cannot feel necessarily so welcome. And I find that being called gender basis, I kind of feel that it's a little bit unfair, because men can be abused too. And we have a responsibility as well in Islam that we actually help the perpetrators. So if we are not welcoming everybody, then how are we really going to create social change? And the real change comes from within and our perspective on how we see the world. So we have the reference in the Holy Quran, and so many times it says from darkness to light. But what's really interesting is that the verb for darkness is the actual word for darkness is plural, and light is just singular. So that means that we have many different types of evils and wrongs and layers of darknesses in the world, but it's guiding ultimately to one truth and a unity and a light and of goodness. And so we need to keep focusing on the goodness, and we need to speak up for the truth, and not be caught up in the past and fall into bitterness or resentment, or maybe even disliking or having a fear against the opposite gender or whichever gender it happened to. So it's really actually about an inner transformation of ourselves. So over the years, I've actually realized that I needed to do workshops. And I've been doing different types of creative healing workshops, also using some fitness and meditation, and drawing in on the spiritual elements and the spiritual knowledge that we have. And I've just completed the first ever full women's healing empowerment program. It was in Elsie's River. It's a 6-week program, 2 sessions a week. And the ladies that have completed that only last week will be attending this event. And it's amazing to see how much these women have transformed in this time. And my co-facilitators who joined me said it was really magical and powerful. And have already asked me to go to other areas and their communities, even in, so Abo Spitter, who's on the lineup, he came last week, he shared some of his work. They were really inspired by him, an amazing young man. He's from Khayelitsha. He's very talented with his art form, but also the fact that he's a young man speaking about the truths and being very conscious as a man about how can he be different, how can he transform his community, and be really conscious in himself about how he's engaging in all of his relationships, even based on the past, seeing his mother being abused by his father. And meeting men like this are inspiring for the women. And then also because he's so talented and the different artists and different knowledges that have been in the program, it's all transformed the women so that they can speak their truth creatively through storytelling, poetry, imagery, movement, whichever form. So there's going to be quite an eclectic lineup on Monday. Also, we have Dewi from Indonesia, and she's speaking about women in the Second World War in Indonesia that were used as sexual slaves for the Japanese soldiers. And so these women have not been recognized. It's not very well known in Indonesia or around the world about this. So her form of this atrocity, this tragedy, because many of these women, they were raped so badly that they either died, or if they survived, they couldn't have children. She paints their portraits, these beautiful oil paintings, and she has exhibitions of them, and then she prints them on beautiful silk scarves. So it's actually a way to commemorate them, remember them, and tell their story. So there are forms of how we see these ills, these social ills, but then we can do something positive and even beautiful. And these have become collector's items, actually. And she's made this, she's called it the Indonesian womb document. And she's made this her dedication, her lifetime dedication. So yes, we do have many social ills, not only in South Africa, but also in other countries. And it has no religion or race or class. It can happen to anybody. And I think ultimately, as you are correct, we do need to highlight the wrongs in the world, but then what's the key is what do we do about it? And what the Creator wants to tell us is, look at what you went through. At that time, you thought, how am I going to get through this? But the Creator, Allah, He came, He saved you, He helped you, He showed you a way. And that's what we need to do. We need to also have the responsibility as Muslims to be that light bearer. We need to shine that nur within us and help those people along the way, that there is light at the end of the tunnel. You will see that light through the trees. You're in that forest and you can't see a way out, but there is a way. So with people like me and other people involved in this work, that we can actually help and authentically support people to tell their truth and actually create true inner healing, so that ultimately we can have more harmonious families and society and communities at large. And I think that us as Muslims need to be more proactive in this area, because divorce rates are high and there are a lot of social issues, and we just need to really be strong in really knowing that we have the knowledge in our beautiful deen, to support one another genuinely. We
Well,
can't just put a plaster
what
over it. We have to really do the
I know.
it's strife. That's the greater jihad, right? We actually have to put the work in inwardly. Yeah.
Yes, but what I like about this event, and from what you've been describing, is the innovative and creative ways where this message can go through very, very powerfully, and at the same time very profoundly as well. And you've given the example of Dewi from Indonesia, highlighting the challenges that women have had to face in war times, and we see it in today's times as well. Whether you're looking at Syria, whether you're looking at Bosnia, where thousands upon thousands of women were actually raped as well in the midst of war. And we see it right across the entire country. So this is not only a problem that is confined to victims on an individual level or a societal level. This is a global problem. And this is where this message is so powerful. And this is where, when the poster says, stand up, wise up, speak up. And this is now speaking out and giving a voice to what you want to achieve, but also at the same time, like you mentioned, doing some introspection, and at the end of the day, emerging from this darkness into the light.
Because when you're in the darkness, you can often feel like you're alone. So what was really powerful when I first started sharing my poetry and my story is that so many people related to me, and then they could share theirs. And we can't just sweep things under the carpet or think that we can just let it go. We actually need to recognize what's there and then create the true healing and transformation. And so when people come together from different backgrounds, it actually really empowers people. And maybe some people say, okay, just focus on the good and the beautiful things in life. Yes, we can do, but you can also find the light and the beauty in the dark too, and that's sometimes where the pearls of wisdom come from, actually.
Yes. Now I see just the event. It says there are limited seats at the venue, but there are also opportunities for people to link up online via Zoom.
Yes, that's correct. So you can get tickets from me. It's only 100 room. For example, I can say some of the artists. We've got Serge One, who's a very talented graffiti artist. He told me an amazing story about how his mother was being abused by his stepfather, and how he stood up to that in the house and helped his mother actually recognize what was going on. So he's a very talented, well-known graffiti artist from Cape Town. And then we have Obo Spitter, who I mentioned, from Kailicha, a very talented rapper. We've got Kardissim, who is an amazing Indonesian band that's inspired by Turkish music and also punk rock, and it's a form of dawa. So you really have to watch it because it's really amazing, unique genre twist. And he has a beautiful song. When I told him about my story and what I'm doing, he actually has a song about how a husband should treat his wife, and it's very heartwarming and touching. And then he's got another song about how to be happy in life. It's very beautiful music. He's from Indonesia. Well, it's a band from Indonesia. And then we've got Davies Banda, who's from Zambia. He mentors young men in his church, and he's a trained counselor, and he will be sharing his poetry, very powerful poetry. And so There's also an open mic section. So I will be performing too. I'm going to be launching a music video called To My Mother Nusaiba. It has a candle plate dance within it, Sufi music and poetry. And so we are sharing, but also there's the open mic section. So if you're joining online or in person at Bertha House in Mulberry in Cape Town, then there's an open platform section too. So it's 100 Rand for seats in the venue. And then you can also get the link for Zoom online. And you can contact on WhatsApp. It's great to order via that on +27 820 719 414. You can also email Rahasia Mafiusa, bit of a mouthful, but the name of the NPO is really beautiful. Rahasia means secret in Indonesian. And Mafiusa, because I'm half Sicilian, is the root word of mafia, which true meaning is beauty, perfection, grace, and sheer excellence. So that's what we are nurturing, our secret potentials. And so you can email Rahasia, Rahasia, Mafiusa, Mafiusa, NPO @gmail.com. And my number again, +27 820 719 414 to order your tickets and be a part of this awesome cause.
Well, Nina, I must say, we do appreciate you taking time out talking to us and also looking ahead at this event that is taking place on Monday at 2 p.m. at Bertha House in Mulberry. We will put up the contact details on our website. But for now, we thank you. We do appreciate you taking time out and being part and parcel of this morning's broadcast right here on Salam Media. All the best to you and all the best at the event as well. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Thank you very much.
Nina Alexia Brazo joining us this morning about this event that is taking place in Cape Town, Bertha House, Mowbray, Cape Town at 2 o'clock on Monday, South African time. The time is just gone 8:45. We're going to go for a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Qari Bashir Patel.